And welcome into TexAgs Rewind here. David Nuno. This is presented by T-Mobile. Proud sponsor of TexAgs Rewind. All you have to do is visit T-Mobile.com/across America to learn more about how you can get value and coverage with T-Mobile. Great Wednesday show, as it always is. Let's be honest, guys. Could Spencer Rattler end up here at Texas A&M? We don't really believe that. There was a little CBS report out there. Obie and I went through it, that one of the places that Spencer could end up could be, Arizona State, A&M. I forget who the third was, but regardless, no, Florida State. We don't see that happening. Chris Landry on the show breaking down Zach Calzada's game, the good and the bad out there. Andrew Monaco, love his passion, the voice of the Aggies, talking about some Aggie basketball out there. And Ryan Broniger, we're getting close to signing day. He brought his intel as always. It is TexAgs Rewind. And I'm going to say fake news for now, but let's see how things develop. Read me what you read a moment ago about from Dennis Dodd.
Yeah. Well, he said, I don't have it up here now, but it said that according to some sports betting line that A&M, Arizona State, and Florida State are the favorites to as a landing spot for Spencer Rattler.
Where's he from?
Spencer?
Yeah.
He's from Arizona.
He's from Arizona. Okay, so I understand the Arizona State thing. The A&M thing, the only way I can understand it, and I don't, is if there's some doubts about Haynes long-term or next season, right? And you want to, because I don't think Spencer Rattler is going to transfer somewhere to go be the backup again, kind of like what happened to him this year after getting benched, the third game of the season, fourth game. I don't see that as the fit. I don't think it's a fit for this program or what the Aggies are looking for. But again, this is Vegas deciding this, not us.
I think it's one of those things where you look at A&M and everybody says, if they have elite quarterback play, and we can debate whether or not Spencer Rattler gives you elite quarterback play, but if they have elite quarterback play, they're a national championship contender.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe even really not great, but really, really good quarterback play makes you a national championship contender. So they're probably saying, all right, well, what programs could a guy like Spencer Rattler, if he's playing well, impact the most? So Florida State, if you look at them, they're taking transfers like crazy.
Yep.
But Arizona State would make the most sense. But guys tend to go home a lot when
they
things don't work out.
Would you welcome? Would you want to see it? How about that?
I'll put it this way: I feel good about Haynes King, but if
he's okay with a real quarterback competition,
if Fisher thinks he's the guy that can make a difference, then I'd say, I fully trust that coach. I don't think he's above reproach. I don't think he does make some mistakes here and there, but he knows quarterbacks and everything. But it doesn't strike me as a position in crisis. I mean, you got Haynes King. You want him. I thought he was going to have a good year for you, and Wigman coming in.
Yeah, I would assume the only reason you go that direction is, are you worried about the youth and inexperience at the quarterback spot and back-to-back years? And that would mean to me, Zach has already told them they're leaving if you were to go that way, right? Like, you're not going to have Zach, Connor, Haynes, and Spencer Rattler. I don't think.
I don't think so. Plus, now, understand, Jimbo has taken a guy for 1 year transfer before. I think it was Sean Kaiser from Notre Dame, went to Florida State, if I'm not mistaken. But we hear how complicated the offense is, and that you've got to be in it a while to really understand what he wants from you. And if that's the case, if that's truly the case, would it really benefit you to bring in a guy that's done a completely different offense? Maybe it would. Maybe the whole complicated offense thing is overblown.
He's got a lot of physical gifts. He doesn't have enough experience. And I would say this, that, not having anybody to go to after Haynes King went down, it puts him in a tough spot. So he's in there, and everybody wants to make a definition of what a guy is, college or NFL, immediately. The bottom line is you never stay the same. So I do think that he's a tough guy. He'll compete. He's got physical gifts, but is he against people that are against good defenses that are going to give him different looks? He's going to miss a lot of it. He's a young guy. I expect him to be better 2 and 3 years down the road. But I think the bigger question and the more important question is there's a huge gap, and this is difficult in the transfer portal age. But if you're going to be an elite program and your starting quarterback goes down, and the best you got is a young guy that's got physical gifts, but he's not ready, and you can't go to anybody but a walk, then that's something that in this day and age, in roster management, you got to have some other options. Because we ever think about what if Zach Calzada went down? Want a vision what the offense would be then? I don't know that, no disrespect. So the point is, no, he's not good enough yet. But yet is the key, and he may never be, but we won't know until he gets more reps and gets more work. And maybe not having a guy that is maybe that sophomore that has mobility to be a change of pace that they could have put in situationally. They didn't have that option, and that's something that I know that they would have liked to have had, and they've got to look at making sure that they don't get in that position again, because quite frankly, that could have been the difference right there between 8-4 and 10-2. But it's difficult in today's roster management world with the transfer portal.
Spend Thanksgiving together and play basketball and be successful.
Really their first road trip.
Yep.
Right? And you get to do that. And I think it's that bonding and in that atmosphere. And then they come out the way they did against Wisconsin, and you're thinking, wow, this is eye-opening, 26-10. And then to lose that game, I ran into Andre Gordon after. He was with his family, and we're walking back from the Strip. And it's why I chuckled in the last segment when I said details. That's what he said. We found out that details matter. But they cleaned it up the very next day, and they beat Butler. And then all the things that were going wrong, they were able to fix. It wasn't a perfect trip.
Right.
But the comeback against Notre Dame, what I liked was, okay, the first half was all Notre Dame style. They changed it. You may have seen Buzz's halftime. You may have seen or heard that Wade Taylor IV was the one who said, hey, guys, this isn't us. Here's a freshman, 7 games in, taking that leadership role. And then in the second half, you see them, and I call it unleash the fury, that defense, which they love. That's part of their identity. And when they got that and feel that game changing, they knew they had Notre Dame because of what they were doing. Man, that became really, really exciting to see that you could make an adjustment in game, then do that, play your style. That ends up being a very good win.
One thing I wanted to do is let's list 2 weeks from signing day, right? I want to discuss the list of kids where the remaining slots will be filled by.
Sure.
So here's who the rest of the class is likely filled by the following names, okay? On the offensive line, Mark Naboo, Cam Dewberry, Kelvin Banks, Keontae Goodwin. Okay, there's the 4 on the offensive line. I think the offensive line class will finish with.
You think all those guys?
No. I think the remainder of the class will be filled by those names.
Gotcha. Okay.
The upcoming commits will come from that group.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing here, okay? Running back, they're done. Tight end, they're done. Wide receiver, they're done. Quarterback, they're done. So I think on the offensive side, you're just looking at those 4 names on the offensive line. Okay, let's go on the defensive side. Okay, on the defensive line, Anthony Lucas, Eni White, Shamar Stewart, Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy. Am I missing somebody? I'd have to go back and think. But I think those 4 would be how I think they would finish out. Now, linebacker, I think it's Harold Perkins.
Yep.
They are bringing in a kid, Shamar James, highly touted kid, this weekend or next to visit. But I still think it's Harold Perkins. I wouldn't put Shamar James into this category yet. And then in the defensive backfield, Denver Harris, Jacoby Matthews.
Yep.
And so you go through all those names I just said, and I think it was like 10 or 11 names maybe, and count the number of 5-stars or top 50 players in the country. It is incredible what they're doing. Billy talked about it on the site. I'm sure he's talked about it on radio. We're not talking about just the best class in A&M history. I think if they locked up 1 or 2 more of those guys, we'd be talking about the best class in A&M history. We're talking about potentially the best class that anybody's ever signed.
Thank you so much for watching the TexAgs Rewind, brought to you by T-Mobile. We ask you to like, subscribe, comment, and make this comment on the YouTube page. Say, hello, David. How are you? That's all I want to see. Can you do that for me? We'll see you next time.